to the divine, the universe, the most high, aka, and also the ancient ancestors, sacred knowledge and truth. Short prayer. We are thankful for this day. We thankful for the wisdom and guidance today. We thank you for blocking all interference, known and unknown. We thank you for blessing everyone who's present in every way possible. We thank you for unrevealing the veil that always been hidden in those who have not seen or seeked. Let every hear, let every ear hear and let every eye see truth, Ashe. I'm gonna do my best to say this in a way that it makes enough sense and that this here isn't to take anything away from anyone's belief, truth, concept, experience, tradition, preference, opinions, perceptions. We come in a humbling place, as always, striving and open to be transparent. And there could be, I'm pretty sure there would be some questions that I would state. People are free to ask. And also, people are free to ask anything, pretty much respectfully ask questions. You can get the yes or no answer. And then we also can dive deep into those answers. Um, we also want to shout YouTube out for the opportunity, even though they can actually do my hour rather to say, help the algorithm as truth by giving the correct views versus hiding the rest of the views as it there is no one actually here at any given time. We know that people are very attentive, which means people are very physical when they come down to seeing people. If they see a lot of people, then they like, okay, yeah, let's see what's going on. But the truth is, YouTube decide what they want as far as the forefront versus what they don't want. And I get it. It shouldn't be like that, but that's what it is. So that doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do as a person, the journey, the purpose, and it's a lot of information. It's a lot of correction that need to be corrected. I'm not here to correct anyone, but I'm here to correct the correction. And the way that I speak versus using these high terms and big terms, I can use that, but that doesn't mean people are gonna understand it and be like, oh, okay, such and such said that. So yeah, that means he right. It ain't about being right. It's information. Either you can use it or you can't use it. I feel that when I speak, there's information that people could use that can help them out at any given pause of their life. So here we go. The first thing we have to understand a few things that I would regurgitate, but it's not regurgitated to new people. The first question is, how old is the planet? That's the first question that people should ask. The second thing they should do is go find out how old is the planet. Then the next thing that people should do, what is the calculation of the hearsay? Hearsay meaning what they are saying that is true. And when I say they, meaning people who sit behind the scenes who call the shots, and that's a lot of people. It's not one person, it's a lot of people that call the shot. What they want to be said, how they want it to be said, and how they want it to be done. And if they don't have a person that wants to do this, which we all know and witness, there's plenty of videos, there's plenty of conversation, they will remove this person, male, female, doesn't matter their race, out the way and put that person in to play the role they need to them play. So what I'm saying to say is this been going on over and over and over. And it's not like people don't see this, but it's all about how you feel, what you believe. It's not about what other people believe. See, this is the thing, right? The fear is what is my family, friends, associates, or the people that I surround myself think about me thinking different from what they think. because that is so discomforting, people choose to stay in the box. So this is holding people to be who they truly need to be. Now the kicker is this. You have a lot of people saying what is and what isn't, but not realizing when you look at the history. I'm gonna use one fragment. When you look at the history shows you that when slavery happened, that people were forced out of their traditions, their belief systems, and then it goes so forth and so on, how they were tortured in many different ways to break them in. It also shows in history that people was broken in physically so bad to the point that Willie Lynch came upon many and spoke a new phenomenon, how to slave the slave. And so they stopped beating slaves and they end up attacking the mind. So if that was not true, how come it's present today to show that truth? People are scared to speak up. People are scared to make a move. People are scared to go here, scared to go there, scared to do this, scared to do that. It could go deeper than that if I needed to, but I prefer someone suggesting that I would do so. Not that volunteering does it. Excuse me, my voice. Excuse me. Return to sender. Volunteering is or isn't stopping me from doing that. I make this thing simple. Darn. Sheesh. Excuse me. Oh well. Should have had it right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Let me just sit up. So the what this boiled down to, man, I'm probably gonna tap into this at one given point and then just let it go because I don't want to keep coming back to this. But you know, I'm gonna do it in a different way. Let's just say this: there are certain things, excuse me, that people are gonna take risk that others are not gonna take. People are gonna play it safe, and you're gonna have others who don't play it safe. This is not so much about wrong and right. This is about lessons, experience, growth for their lineage. Now, each spirit that's in the physical body already picked their destiny, either to be wicked and transition to good or remain wicked, and vice versa for the good, to be good or to learn to be good and remain good or transition from good to bad. Okay? I'm just using these basic explanations so people have clarity on the depths of the point. And what is interesting about all of this is that people, all races, fail to realize because people want to forget the past. History, we're talking about millions of years before the Bible, before religion, before us today. That history does not mean it is exempt because people don't know it and that people do not study it. People do not learn it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So trying to explain to people, whomever fits the category, can be very difficult because the people who believe whatever it is they truly believe in the present, the now, don't believe that as well. So this is not about trying to convince people to transition from one place to another or one thing to another. This is all about truth. And the truth is that the spirit that's in each individual will decide what path they're willing to take or destined to take. This is why you see the indifference in culture where there are people who have assets to things that the norm don't have. The norm pretty much don't have anything besides just a bunch of control. You can't do this, you can't do that. If you do this, you do that. This is what we're gonna do to you. So pretty much people in the box, and so that's where you find people just doing things just to be doing things, and it's not doing anything for them. People trying to have a human experience, but forgetting their soul. And when people are having a human experience, forgetting their soul, it's very difficult to comprehend anything outside of that because most people are tangible, physical people. Meaning, if it's not physical, it's not real. If it's physical, then it's real. The physical experience is illusion. And the reason why I say illusion, because there's an expiration date of this avatar that we call a physical body, or that is called a physical body, and many other different terms. But the question would be the spirit that is hindered, or the spirit that is alive for those who honor their spirit, their souls, which is more than one. Which one serves the purpose of their journey as accomplishment versus the one that doesn't? You got everyone. It just reminds me of some of these books when it speaks about success. When you have someone, you have two people, you got Billy and Bobby. Billy and Bobby, they went to this job and they both was around the same age. They come from a good home or they didn't come from a good home. If you want to put that in there hypothetically, both of them had a car. One had a car, one didn't. But the bottom line is they both had access to the same opportunity, but only one of them going to thrive. So practically, this is what this boiled down to. You have a lot of elders that have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have the wisdom. You only have a selective few that has the wisdom, that apply the knowledge and the wisdom together, which allows them to outshine, not in a malicious way, but in a way of alignment. And it actually speaks volumes and it makes the others not inspired. It makes them intimidated, it makes them jealous, it makes them envious. It's the same with religion, it's the same with community, it's the same with sports, it's the same with appearance, it's the same with presence. People end up becoming one or the other. Instead of being the great version of self, they begin to take their energy and their power and place it in someone else's hands, just the same as living in someone else's head. When you allow someone to live in your head, you're giving them your power, your authority. So there's a lot of misconceptions out here. And the reason why there's a lot of misconceptions out here because society has put people in position of confusion and also to make sure they do not find the truth because the truth is going to set a lot of people free and they won't be in bondage. But as long as people keep debating and being combative and going back and forth about other people's experiences, whatever their choices has been, the objective is to actually learn the do's and don'ts. And then when someone's taking the path and making decisions that they're making or made, it shouldn't be determined of what you as an individual perception would be. See, the thing about me, I'm going to use in this example, I have evaluated many things, and with those many things, has never ever gave me the concept that this will be the outcome for me. You know what I mean? And I get what the gentleman was saying about his experience, but you know, to be honest with you, the narrow path, for example, when the Bible speaks about that, it's not for everybody. Everybody's not meant to go, even though you got people upset about it. But and that's just because the Most High understand that it's just something that people can't hold. The things that you're gonna have to go through. Yeah, you're gonna go through a whole bunch of stuff, whether you like it or not. It's crazy, but you don't know you sign up for it until you actually start seeking and going down that rabbit hole. When you start going down that rabbit hole, it allows you to know that you actually signed up for something that pretty much the Most High will reveal to you things, different things about you, you know. And of course, things in life, no matter what side you pick, comes with emotions and stress and overthinking, overreacting, and looking for clarity and so forth, so on. Eventually, it comes. And when we talk about wisdom, wisdom is meaning you're asking to be put in a situation where you can become wise, and then knowledge is where now that you become in this situation which is uncomfortable, now you have the knowledge of it, so now you know how to navigate a situation such as that. Now you can help others. This is just a way that you can actually financially help yourself as well. But a lot of people don't spend time understanding that. They spend time focused on other people where they can create their demise. There's universal laws, period. It doesn't matter if people want to learn them or listen to them. This is ancient knowledge. This is before the Bible. And too much get into the Bible because it comes with issues with the Bible and all that stuff. So we ain't going to go there. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody, I will say that until somebody showed me that they are actually a real Christian, a real believer of God, and they could prove everything about that Bible, along with the history that they already showed you before the Bible, you're not going to disrespect my ancestors. That's what you're not going to do. You're not going to make me think that that Bible was before the ancestors. The Bible come from Rome. So you're not gonna play me. You can play everybody else because I'm not here to try to convince anybody of the truth. I'm just gonna tell the truth, expose whatever I need to say, and keep it moving. I'm not trying to convince anyone because the thing about me is people can go and actually go look it up for themselves and see that what's true and what's not. People don't want to do that. They rather spend time doing other things. So it shouldn't be important for those who like to rebuttal things if you're not gonna go do the homework. I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna if I decide to have the conversation, which I shouldn't, because people get upset. Not that I care. It's just that they're not gonna be able to handle the pressure. I'm gonna be able to handle pressure, and I've been thinking about it. If that's something I truly want to do, is bring people up, let them express themselves, and let them bring what they know to the table, and we'll see what's what. Because a lie can never overcome the truth. And it's so sad that people don't even know who they are. They don't know their ancestors. Your ancestors practice all this stuff that people are saying, well, I don't like this and I don't like that, and I'm scared of this and I'm scared of that. You're scared of everything. You're scared of yourself. I mean, to be technical with it. So, I mean, I get it. So, I'm not knocking it either as well because people are scared of everything. I know what the root is and where it come from, but no one's willing to listen for those who fit the category and overcome what it is the root. If you don't know what the root of anything, how do you know what the branches of that root come from and how other branches was formed with that same tree or in and bledded, and breeded rather to say, and blended would be a whole different concept, but embedded with the word I would like to use at this moment to express what I'm speaking of, um, that has many branches of many things. We all is one. We one big energy having a human experience, and it's things that we do not like, we disagree, and nothing separate. Rather we say Ola de Mare, the Most High, or we say Emmanuel, God. Some people call Jesus God. Some people call God Jesus, Yahshua, Yahweh. What other names out there? It's so many names. Simba, Zeus, Ra. I mean, there's so many names. But here's the thing: every religion around, or every race, prefer to be said, around the world, was introduced by their ancestors, who was who, which is still the same thing. You get any book you want to get, Buddha, whatever. All this stuff talks about same thing, same thing. But here's the thing: the people who in position, which is from top to bottom, in between, whatever, know what they're actually committed to. Each person are fully aware what they do and what they don't do. And more importantly, the Most High is fully aware of people's hearts. So everybody think, if you go, for those who fit the category, think if you go practice this, this is what's gonna get you to heaven. It's not true. The Most High Ben told me that it's not true. What's gonna get you to heaven is your heart. You can practice anything, but if you don't have integrity and morals and self-respect and self-love, because if you don't have self-love, it's gonna be hard for you to love in a situation that can actually pressure you to show no love, to actually bring a demise or a attempt of a demise to someone else. So, I could say hypothetically, using this example, that I would dislike people of the dark forces, but then again, it defeats the purpose. And the reason being is because without them, there's no me, there's no purpose, there's no growth, there's no learning. They're teaching me things about myself as well as I'm learning things about them. Now, egotistically, or arrogance, or anger, or lack of understanding will allow you to have some emotions or have a certain mindset towards people of darkness. But we all are all of darkness. It's just all about if that's something that we are willing to use in a way that is misused to create unnecessarily harm to others that will come back to us at some point. So I get it tremendously. So I take my time, I get my beatings, you know what I'm saying? And it's a warfare that neither parties are willing to put up the white flag or surrender. So it's understood and it's respected. Yeah, I've said some things about certain groups and things like that, and I meant that. But then at the same time, my ancestors are part of every group that I don't like, or that don't like me, prefer to be said, because it's not that I can't like them, but I don't have no choice because they're an enemy and I'm their enemy and they made me their enemy. So enemies don't like each other. I don't truly have no enemies, but there are people who consider me to be a threat, and I understand with all respect. There's nothing I can say or do to change their mind unless I'm willing to do the things they tell me to do. And the reality of that, I'm sovereign. I'm a nation, which my ancestors is and are, and I'm a part of a universe that many people don't know nothing about and never probably ever be able to experience or even know anything about. And that's just the bottom line. I didn't come here to take nothing personal. I mean, I come here to take care of business to the best of my ability, by all means. It doesn't matter if I don't get the wealth that I'm supposed to already have. Many different things. It doesn't matter as long as I've completed the mission. It doesn't matter. The flesh, of course, will enjoy those things, but I know it's a part of everything as well. So, according to that bloodline, it matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter as far as I don't care, but I'm neutral with it, meaning I'm also transparent with it. What happens, happens. What don't, don't. I'm not gonna lose any sleep. Not gonna stress. Those things they won't relieve anything, and they most definitely won't resolve anything as well. So what I'm learning out of all of this, the more distance, because people want me in isolation, but they don't realize I've always been an isolated person, so I don't have a problem with it. And it's like, well, as long as we can get you isolated, we completed our mission, and the mission is still going. Rather go on with me and it go on with somebody else that's 10 times stronger than I am. You know what I'm saying? I may have a little strength, whatever, here and there, whatever, but there's somebody way powerful than me. So, it pretty much is unstoppable. And, it'll play its role. And I get it. You know, oppression and suppression is real. It has not changed. Excuse me, it has not changed and it won't change until it's time. In the meantime, all is well. The bottom line is the concepts about what people feel and think about opinions, and there's so many doctrines and documentaries about projection and negative influence about things. That's why you gotta be very mindful who you allow in your space, and because you gotta look at ulterior motives, what people's intentions, ulterior motives are. And a lot of times people suffered and still suffering because now it's too late. Because there's been a picture painted that's not true, but the same very people who speak about these things is practicing the very same thing they tell you that you should be scared of. And this is why they're flourishing. This is why they're winning in life. And this is why people are losing. Because they don't have access. They got access to nothing. The haves and the have nots. I had this conversation earlier today, but to make it short, I know for a fact the only difference between me and someone else, they are affiliated in an organization that's fulfilled with a bunch of knowledge that's passed on, but everybody don't get the knowledge. And there's a limited of that knowledge that people get. But then there are also people in the organizations get sacrificed, whether people know that or not. Entertainment purposes only, by the way, as well, because this is what is required. Um, it's like what I talked about a few segments prior to this one is that I'm always trying to help people who truly don't want no help. You can just tell. And, I got to keep doing this regardless. Of course, everything is set up for me just to quit. But what am I quitting? If I'm not no threat, if I'm not bringing no harm or nothing I'm saying means nothing, then let me be. But apparently, I understand the psychology and the psychological tactic is like, well, we'll do this and we'll see what the reaction's gonna be, and if we get the reaction, then we good. So let's just see if we can alter the decision. Can't alter something that's already fate or fated. So I hold the best for last, man. This right here is nothing. The stuff I've been doing on here, this right here is nothing. It's nothing at all. I just can't wait to look at the very people who all are involved. While I'm standing in front of everyone speaking, that's the best part. That's the best part of it all. Where you're standing in front of all your enemies who've been behind the scenes. Most of them gonna cloak themselves, but pretty much still can see you. And they be like, ah, man, this guy right here is different. I'm different in person, most definitely. The way I could act on the screen, people think I'm performing for real. To be honest with you, I just be holding back. You say, why you holding back? Because there's no need. There's no need to deliver nothing. There's a time and place for everything. You know, you ever hear that saying, you say the best for last? Yeah. I'm people's not appetizer, but I'm that sweetness after you get through eating your appetizer, your meal, and you have a fetish for something sweet. But it'll be sweet and bitter. You know, this is a game and I got time and everybody else got time. So nobody's budging. Like I said, you know what I mean? Nobody's willing to get out the way. So there's two forces, they head to head by all means. And you got me versus hundreds, if not thousands of people. See, there's a lot of things that have to be done to stop me. I don't have to do anything to stop anybody else because I would like to actually see face to face, you know what I'm saying, or where this supposed to be, or how this outcome is supposed to be, and when it's going to be, and where it's going to be, and really see who's really who so people can see it. It's unbelievable. But in the meantime, you know, they have a saying pressure bust pipes. There's things that people will talk about that I have no interest in. Not that I don't think it's important, not that I don't think it holds value, but then if they do that, then I began to go down the rabbit hole. And it'd be very important for those who are observing to hear answers to those questions that comes in many ways. But I don't feel like anyone's up to the challenge because there are so many people doing so many different things behind the scenes. You just got people hiding. I'm out here in the forefront. Whatever happened, happened. You know what I mean? People getting it or they're not getting it. I'm still out here on the forefront. I done had people challenge me about things, but see, I'm a deep person, so people just end up getting lost. Or they just be shocked. Like, what the fuck? They don't even know how to answer the question. They don't even know how to follow what I'm saying. The information becoming so fast and so fluent, a lot of time I have to slow down and just stop. Sometimes I spin a block and re-speak what I've spoken because I see a person just like and shot like it's not so I don't hold a conversation with any and everybody like I used to. A lot of people just can't hold the energy. It has a lot of weight. You know what I mean? Your energy got to be most definitely where you can handle what it is. And then you got some intelligent people out here especially on the dark side and things like that. It's most definitely understood. And then you got some people out here who think they're better just based off them looking at you and observing themselves and checking the status and all of that and saying, let me do my checklist and let me see what I got versus them. Let's see the difference between me and other people. They gotta have that shit to feel like they're somebody. I don't have to have none of that. I've been with and without a lot of shit that other people have and don't have, and I still been the same person. So I already know there's no match for me. People know that. People trying to do different tactics. I would use that instead of going to the spell work and all that. Different tactics to try to convince me that I ain't, or I'm not, excuse me, who I am, or I don't know what I know, or I don't know what I'm talking about. People try to mess with my speaking abilities, my cognitive skills, and things like cognitive skills, excuse me, and things like that. Like I'm not coordinated and things. You know what I'm saying? I even looked at a video, and as I was speaking, I seen a pause in that video. And I know you can manipulate and videos and things like that, but that shit wasn't cool either. But it's all good, man. You know, I know the crown chakra get tacked a lot. I know why. I don't get on here and tell people why, but I understand why. It's a lot of stuff I would like to tell people. It's not based off of fear. It's not. I mean, I could say it's dangerous, but I gotta die one day, right? At least they say death is real. It's not. It's a fear tactic. Can't die. You know, a lot of people. You know, shouts out to them. They put a lot of energy because some people are trying to make money off these platforms. I get it. Put a lot of energy and a lot of pictures and things like that together. Um, you know, to draw people in. But like with me, I'm like a Bobby Hemmett. I just get to the raw uncut. You know what I mean? And but Bobby Hemmett, he read a lot of books too. You know what I mean? And my shit just natural. Only reason I stopped reading books for those who may be curious because I realized that everybody's doing the same thing. Like, and in order to be your authentic self, you must be able to allow yourself to be on your journey. You're sharing a lot of information that comes from a root that is spread it. And most people say reach one, teach one, but I feel that it's so many people. I mean, it's millions, if not billions of people are talking about the same thing. And so with that being said, with all respect, hands down, they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? They did that. It's not for me. It's not who I'm supposed to be. So that's the main reason why I stopped doing it. I know about Kemet and the Toro and you know the true Islam, the real true Islam, the true pronunciation. You know what I'm saying? And so, maybe well, what you trying to say about Muslim? I'm not saying anything. It is a branch of the true mu- Muslim or the different terms that are used of that tradition or religion, whatever they prefer to be called, respectfully said. And everything that people dealing with is branches, it's not the root. I love the root. So I know how to get to the root. I have access to it. So and this information is that many don't have. They just don't have it. Just like there's information of other different chosen seeds. They got information that I don't have. And that's their journey. You know what I mean? If I come across them and it's meant for me to see it, then I see it. But I just understand it's just a lot of different things that I know how to help people. But I'm not gonna overdo this. My overdo my welcome. Only people I'm inviting in is witches and warlocks that want to destroy me. Shit crazy. Like, oh, there you go. That's the one I want. And I'm not the only one go through this. Like, how dare you? You know what I mean? You're just looking like this must be a person from the past that was an enemy that actually come to destroy you in this lifetime. So, I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Can't say what is, what isn't. People just don't like me for being me. People don't like me for doing the same shit that everybody else doing, talking about positive shit. Why a person, this person, or people not attacking them? Like, fuck you attacking me for? I don't even fucking know you. And if I do know you, you're hiding where to the point where you're not even exposing yourself and saying, yeah, because you know a lot of people act tough behind the screen and all this crazy stuff. I get it. I'm in front of the screen. But I'm glad that we don't know each other. Excuse me, as far as like I already know. They be like, see, I told you that's who he is. No, yeah, people don't know me, period. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Even my relatives, they don't fucking know me. We're not even the same blood. I done did my due diligence homework. So people I grew up, they don't fucking know me. All they knew was I was a kid. All they talk about when I was a kid or a teenager or some of my adult whatever. But like these people weren't even around me 24/7. They didn't see what I went through and had what I had to overcome and these things, was it going to change me or break me, or I was going to remain me being myself and growing and shit like that. People don't know me. If they were to see me now and if we speak about vocabulary or they asking certain questions, they'll be shocked because like, nah, we wouldn't expect that from this person because people judge people. That's why people be thinking they God or they think they have insight about who people gonna be and how they gonna be and who they are. And the whole time, all they control is in the Most High and also the free will of that individual. If he or she wants to actually, you know, step into things that are represented or presented to them. Now, if somebody asks me and say, "Do you think you the hottest thing smoking on the planet?" And what I would say, absolutely. And someone would say, "Why is that?" Well, given the opportunity where there's no interference, people would have been seen, but I already know what it come with. And I'm not tripping because it's not seen, because the main reason is because I know that there's people have a legacy, quote, they want to maintain and be recognized for, and me unintentionally will ruin that. So I don't take nothing personal. If when I take my L's or L or whatever, now that I done got so used to it, now people can't get me to react the way that I was or once upon a time to the same tactics. So with them same tactics or a little twist, a little plot twist to it, pretty much the same thing. They know I'm not going for anything, and people, especially the relatives, they really truly didn't want me or anyone around me, now that it's like that, now they want to be around or they want people to be able to get close to me. They did me a favor because there's so many people, man. It's just not them, but everybody did me a favor by showing their hand, showing me something that truly wasn't normal. I feel like maybe the breaking point where it was so intense and it was so back to back that the way they were doing it one point of time, it was so spreaded that you just thought this was your life and it was just something that you were going through just to, you know, like it was like the way they had it set up is like they had it like it was God doing this, allowing the devil or enemies to have their way. But all this shit was planned and orchestrated. And then when it go deeper down the rabbit hole, this shit was planned and orchestrated before I was even born. This is some shit that been going on for centuries. So spirituality and religion is one. You got people who take on both. You got people who take on both and some other things. And that's their prerogative. And so people are afraid of people sharing things that are outside of what they don't pay a lot of attention to anyway. You know, I watch people. People don't believe in what they say they actually are committed to. Commitment is at its fullest term. It's not temporary. It's not part time. It's not. I don't feel like it. It's not. Oh yeah, I used to be. Oh yeah, well, uh, nah. If you committed, you committed. I don't come in the presence of others to prove anything. I just come in the front of others to speak what's already proven, already known. So that's real difficult for a lot of people to accept, and I get it because that take away everything that's already been said, and it's just a lesson for people not to say things that actually would backfire. So I got a lot of people hot, but it's their fault, and there's no need people trying to attack somebody of their own accountability. But history has a lot to offer. I would say personally, I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful just to see things turn out the way that they turn out. Because to be honest with you, darkness teaches me to be grateful and also teaches me not to go down that path, which I always knew not to. It just never felt right. And then you could just feel those individuals from afar. You ain't never met them, but you can see them and you can tell. You know, they say the eyes is the soul, eyes to the soul. And it's true. And there's a lot of things that people can do. But I will tell this truth. People got to be very mindful of the eyes they look into. I'm going to simplify it that way. Ain't no need of me telling nobody what I mean because people hard headed and they're going to do it anyway. So ain't no need me saying what I could say. And this is the very part that people don't want me to say. So I don't say nothing. Now that I'm doing something different, maybe people will go away, which I doubt it, and leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? You still don't know me, no matter how many books, how many pictures, how many questions, how many interviews, none of that. You still, those people don't know me. They just giving you old news. That's all that is. And then that, and the thing about it, to put this out there too, is those individuals, I never show them everything. They never see. Man, it's crazy. People have seen fragments of me, but it was not the very best. It was the best, but it was not the very best. So again, it goes back saving the best for last. And now that we at that point now, all people can do is just watch. They don't have no information that they can provide to say, okay, this is this and this is that. This is what the move is. There is no move. The moves has already been calculated, knowingly and unknowingly. So pretty much, if people don't know what FATE is, which many do, that's what it means. But I stay on here long because I'm supposed to been talking about the spider, but I'll make it short. Spiders are taboo. I've been known about. I go ahead and expose it, freak it. I've been known about the enemies who use spiders. They also go in the spiritual realm and they use spiders to set up traps, to do entanglement. This is ancient knowledge. This is occult knowledge. And the wisdom of this knowledge is to honor it all. Doesn't matter how much someone knows, more or less or in between, because the reality is this: if you don't have wisdom, obtaining knowledge, then what is the purpose of obtaining knowledge when you don't have the wisdom to apply it with clarity and understanding? I could tell people about spells and all of that by taking the very same time that many have done for many years, many centuries, and repeat the same thing, confidently saying that I will perfect it to a higher and greater level. And tremendously, there are many that understand that. And because of that, this is why many seek me to be in their organization. I don't have anything bad to say about people organization. It's pretty much explanatory. Numbers don't lie. People character and personality don't lie. And what people do behind the scenes, which there's the outside or the non-presence of others to observe as well as hear, explains itself in a phenomenal way that none can deny. You think about Diddy, for example. People didn't know Diddy did many of the things he did until they was able to get behind the scenes. And it's pretty much similarity for all the other people. Excuse me. If you can get back there in the back where all the real stuff goes down at, then you won't look at the person ever the same. So there's no power in any of that. There's people who have observed me in my highs and lows, and I am not ashamed of none of it. I still been top tier through it all, with and without. So, you know, we supposed to got paid some money, lots of money, millies, millies, and this shit probably would have went away. Nobody want to pay anything. Like, we ain't paying y'all nothing. We gonna kill you. We're gonna get you to self sabotage somehow, some way. We're gonna send people in. We're gonna send people around you, get you scared, and hopefully you'll run away and go hide. The hell? Hide from what? There's nothing to hide from. That's I give praise to the Most High. If it wasn't for the Most High, the people have their way, like McDonald's, for sure. But anyway, I call my power and my energy back from this broadcast. I sever every cord, every curse, every hex, every chant, every mirror, every incantation, every crystal ball, every divination, every cable, attachment, karmic contracts. I denounce and I revoke all energies, people, places, things, objects, spirits, familiar spirits that is not for my highest good. So motive be, it is sealed, Ashe, and peace until next time.